Hello, investors. Welcome to the channel where I use technical analysis to find possible swing trades. Before we begin, I'd like to make it clear I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I say is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. Technical indicators like these I use are not accurate 100% of the time. Fundamentals of a company and macroeconomic factors can drive share price changes differently than what we might expect based on technical indicators. My goal here is to bring these companies to your attention so you can decide for yourself whether or not they're good investments for you. So please, if you plan on investing, do your own due diligence before purchasing shares in any company or consult with a financial advisor. Today, we're taking a look at Flowers Foods, Inc., ticker symbol FLO. Well, this is a well-known and beloved company here on the East Coast. It's a small cap with a market cap around $5 billion. Just going to expand this so you can see some of the brands that Flowers owns. We have Nature's Own, Dave's Killer Bread, Wonder Bread, Canyon Bakehouse, Mrs. Freshley's, and perhaps the most important one, Tastykake. And again, if you're from the Northeast, you probably grew up with Tastykakes. And I dare say that the expansion of Flowers Foods may hinge on the expansion of the Tastykake brand. And here we are on the annual chart. You'll see that there was a giant gap down after earnings, and the share price has continued to fall a bit. And I'll point out that the earnings here was actually an earnings beat, but they offered poor guidance for the remainder of the year based on how their first quarter went. So that decline in revenue may or may not materialize. And if we scroll down to the RSI, you'll see it's low. It's not quite in the oversold zone anymore. It is rising, and the stochastics are in oversold areas and are rising. The volume chart shows, as you might expect, more red than green days lately. Of course, there's one giant red spike in selling after the earnings. And we have the MACD, which is definitely rising towards zero after making a peak. After making a trough, but we haven't had a bullish cross yet. And just as an overview of Flowers Foods fundamentals, we'll take a look here on each trade. We have 82% institutional ownership, 2.67% short interest. Neither of those is surprising per se. Perhaps the short interest is a bit high or higher than I might have expected. The debt is average for the industry, which is a fair sign considering the other metrics here. PE ratio is above average at the 61 percentile. Of course, it would be nice if it was even lower, but as it seems, this company typically commands a higher price than others in the industry. And the gross margin is greater than 92% of other companies. So this is top of class. Now, however, the operating margin is better than 75% of others. And I'll point out that the operating margin is only 5.81%. So if 5.81% operating margin is better than 3/4 of the other companies in the industry, then this industry clearly operates with very narrow profit margins. And we move on to the management effectiveness. Return on equity beats out 80% of its competitors. The growth rate is average for the industry, although again, if Tastykakes could be shuttled around the country a bit more, I am sure we will get some more people buying Flowers Foods. And the dividend yield is outstanding at 3.72%, almost triple the market average. But there's definitely a fly in the ointment here with payout ratio of 87%. That is much higher than I would like to see. So the question here is whether or not the dividend will be cut because of this poor guidance, should that guidance materialize, or if company will have the funds to cover the dividend and continue paying as usual. After the guidance, the shares fell about 10%, a little over 10, I think it was 10.2%. Fell immediately, and then now we are down from roughly the high 28s down to 25.33. So that's a significant drop. And I am curious as to what kind of recovery we get here, because we can push the share price just a bit higher. This gap would be an excellent one to fill, and we could just ride that right back up. That would be an outstanding purchase. So please let me know in the comments below if you think this is a good point at which to buy into Flowers Foods. And if you got something out of the video, as always, I would really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button and subscribe to help out the channel. If you enjoy these brief overviews of possible swing trades, please leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. And if you would even like to tell me what I got wrong or how much you disagree, you can leave those comments below as well. And if there's a particular company that you'd like me to look at, then we'll mention that below and I will get to it as soon as I can. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and good luck with all your investments.